Konnichiwa, kia ora. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Pennie from New Zealand. I've moved to Japan in my 50s to study Japanese and completely start over. Today I really want to sit down and talk honestly about the Japanese language school, my regrets, my accomplishments and the stress and whether it's all worth what I'm paying. Because let me tell you, it isn't easy. And I don't want to pretend that it is. So if you're thinking of coming to Japan and doing what I'm doing, this is a good video for you. I'm going to talk about how I'm feeling, what's working, what isn't, and some mistakes I've already made. And yes, I'm going to talk about money too, because it's reality. So let's get into it. Before I get into everything though, I want to be clear that this is my own personal experience. Every student is different. We all have different ages, backgrounds, strengths and struggles, study habits, and also expectations. What feels overwhelming for me might feel perfectly fine for someone else, and something I might find easy might be a challenge for another person. So please, take what I share as just one person's journey and not the whole picture of studying Japanese in Japan. So what I talk about here is true for me, in my situation, at this stage of my life. Your journey might look completely different, and that's okay. So, come on, let's get into it. So, why am I here? I came to Japan to study Japanese properly. I didn't want to be at home wondering, what if? I wanted a new challenge, something for myself for once, and thought, why not? It's now or never. Just because something is exciting, it doesn't mean it's easy. I also wanted to finish my bachelor's degree in applied management, and I thought it would be a great time, so I'd be studying full time. I thought, that'll be easy. Yeah, right. I have found it quite challenging with the amount of study that I do have to do for Japanese and also for my degree. But now, at the moment, I'm on a break from my degree and I don't start studying for that until February, so I can fully concentrate on my Japanese. So next, let's talk about what I'm actually spending here. I'm in a 1DK, which means there's a kitchen, dining and bedroom, and I'm paying 96,500 yen per month, and that includes internet and the fire insurance that you need to have. It's a 5 to 6 minute walk to the subway, which is pretty good. Since I moved in the height of summer, it was extremely humid, so I did have my heat pump on 24/7 on dehumidifying, which kept my apartment in a good even temperature, and with that and my gas it was 11,000 yen for the month, which I thought was pretty reasonable. It will be a lot cheaper this month because I haven't had my heat pump on as much because the weather has got better and it's not so humid. So using the dehumidifying, it does stop the humidity, which stops the mold growing inside. And mold is certainly an issue here in Japan, and I didn't want to start having to combat that issue. So hence me having my heat pump on 24/7. Coming back home after walking from the train station, it was actually quite nice and refreshing to come back into a nice cool room. The location of the apartment is really good, but the only downside that it's not very close to a supermarket. So it's about a 10-15 minute walk to the closest supermarket, which is fine if it's not too hot. But I found during the summer it was really, really hot and humid, and I really didn't feel like walking to the supermarket. So I found myself going to restaurants a little bit too often. Now that the weather has got better and easier to walk around, I will be cooking a lot more. When looking for a language school, I did find most of these were around the same price. So I don't think I need to go into exactly how much I paid, but I am completing an 18-month course, which they help with the visa process, and also it includes all the textbooks that you need. The positives about this school is that the classrooms are a small size. It's a maximum of 8 students per class. So I'm not lost in a room of 40 people, and the teachers know our names. The teachers are actually great as well. They put a lot of effort into the lessons, and they do explain things pretty well. It's a full Japanese immersion school, so there is no English spoken in the class, which can make it a little bit confusing when you don't understand what they're talking about, but they do try their hardest. Each school teaches at different paces. Now, I thought I was going into a school that has a slow to medium pace. That's probably why I chose it. But we're actually doing the Minna no Nihongo series, and we're doing around 2 chapters every week. And that's well over 100 vocabulary words to memorize weekly, plus grammar, homework, and plus speaking practice. And it is way too fast for me. I barely have time to understand something before we move on, and I forget the verb forms as soon as I leave class. And now we have a midterm test coming up, and honestly, I don't feel confident at all. I'm overwhelmed completely. There are younger students who keep up, and that's great for them, but at my age, my brain is tired and slow, and sometimes I think, I can't do this pace, it's too much. These thoughts are actually becoming more and more frequent as the course goes on. It is full on, and I am not sure mentally that I can keep up with this pace. It's a bit disappointing for me. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting in language school, but it is very, very hard for me. And I really didn't think it would be this difficult. But in saying that, I know that Japanese is a difficult language to learn, and all schools have to go at a certain pace for the majority of the class. So I get that. Repeating classes seems like it's going to be one of the better options for me, so I repeat each class twice. Whether that's a possibility and whether they've got space in the next class for me to repeat, that's another story in its own. When classes finish, my brain needs a break, but I also need to study more. So I often go to Kannon Coffee. It's quiet. The coffee is lovely, and it's a good place to sit and do some homework. And this is so special. I also met a subscriber there, and they've moved here too, and I can already tell that we're going to be good friends. It's nice having someone who understands what life is like. And that's one of the beautiful things about doing something scary. You meet the right people. After doing a bit of study, I decided to go to the supermarket and get some supplies for my next few meals. I have run out and my fridge is absolutely bare. So I'm just going to get some eggs and some meat really, as I can get milk from the combini, which is opposite my apartment. They do look like there's a lot of packaging here, which there is, but it's all recyclable. So I don't feel as bad as I did when I first arrived in Japan, thinking, oh my goodness, look at all this packaging. And there were a lot of single portions, which is handy for me. Okay, so we've got to the meat section. So the chicken, I thought this was actually quite reasonable. What's the pricing in your country like? Like a kilo of chicken for just over 1,000 yen is pretty cheap. And the beef I thought was a bit more expensive, but I was looking for some steak and I thought this was actually steak. But when I got it home, I was a little bit disappointed because it was really thin. But I still fried it up and just made it into a stir fry instead. The total was 3,753 yen, and I've got enough breakfast for the week and for about 3 meals for dinner. It was lovely actually being able to go to the supermarket. So this supermarket I went to is in the Noretoki Gardens in the Ion Mall, and I'll get the subway back to my apartment. So it's the next morning and I'm having bacon and eggs for breakfast. I'm going to make an omelette. It's actually quite nice. I haven't had bacon for a while and I've just been having plain eggs, and it sometimes gets a bit boring. I did forget to buy some tomatoes to put in there and spring onions, so I'm going to put some cheese in there and that should make it quite tasty. I do have a local organic vegetable market on Saturday mornings to go to, and I missed it this week, so I'll have to wait until next week and get some vegetables because they are really, really lovely and also so fresh. And of course now I have to make my coffee, which is very important. This is one of the best buys I have done since I've been in Japan. It really has made my coffee drinking a lot more affordable. I do go to a coffee shop to buy the beans. That's in the Sakae underground shopping area. Now my omelette is looking quite tasty actually. I don't think it's too overcooked. I do like it nice and brown. Itadakimasu. In Japan, the most common thing to say right before eating is itadakimasu, and it means I humbly receive this food. It's about gratitude to the person who cooked it, the ingredients, and the effort that brought the food to the table. If you're in a restaurant and after you've finished eating, you would say "Gochiso samadeshita," which is meaning thank you for the meal. You'll see in the background I've got stick-it notes pasted on the wall, and that's to help me remember some of my vocabulary. I kind of have them dotted around, so if I look around then I can see some words. I do change them every few weeks. Life here isn't glamorous. It's routine, it's class, it's homework, it's budgeting, it's surviving. Some days I love it and some days I don't. But every day I'm trying. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like the pace is too fast for my age. I'm not sure if I regret choosing the school, but it feels like fast. I'm scared of failing the midterm test. I forget so much of what we learnt and I get frustrated at myself. And yes, sometimes I think, did I make a mistake coming here? But at the moment I'm not quitting. I need to remind myself I'm here, I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm living in Japan, I'm making friends, and I'm changing my life. So let's look at my regrets versus my accomplishments. My regrets: picking the fast-paced school. But I actually think that all schools are fast-paced. This school is great because of the classroom sizes, so it's a regret but not really. And also expecting my brain to function like it did in my 20s. My accommodation, I didn't check to see how far the supermarket distance was from my apartment, but my accomplishments are more. I'm here, I'm learning a new language, I'm making friends in Japan, I'm proving that I still can grow at 50 plus. And in the end, regrets are just lessons. Accomplishments are proof that I'm strong enough to keep going. So, is language school worth it? Sometimes yes, sometimes I really question it. It's expensive, it's mentally exhausting, but it's challenging every single day. Studying for a degree as well, I'm not sure if I would recommend that, but I didn't want an easy life, I wanted a new one. And that's what I'm building here, step by step, verb by verb, even though I forget half of them. So that's where I'm at. I'm not confident about my test. I'm overwhelmed at the pace, I worry about money, but I'm also proud, I'm excited, and I'm not giving up. I want to be able to fulfill the dream that I've always had, to get my degree and to learn a new language. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and also hit that hype button. And if you've studied at a Japanese language school, tell me in the comments, did you struggle too? How did you cope? Because right now I need some advice from people who get it. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, see ya!